War is a tragedy. It leaves scars on the land and deeper wounds on the soul. In Ukraine, we see the devastation wrought by conflict. Cities lie in ruins, families are torn apart, the world watches, horrified. Yet another conflict, equally devastating, unfolds with a fraction of the attention. In Gaza, bombs rain down and children cower in fear. Their plight too is a story of suffering, loss, and resilience. Why does one conflict ignite global outrage while the other is met with silence and indifference? This is a tale of two conflicts, a stark illustration of global hypocrisy. It lays bare the double standards that define our world, a world where some lives are deemed more valuable than others. Where is the consistency in our empathy, our outrage, our demand for justice? Why are some victims embraced with open arms while others are left to fend for themselves? When Russia invaded Ukraine, the world responded with unprecedented unity and speed. Governments imposed crippling sanctions, effectively isolating Russia from the global economy. Military aid poured into Ukraine, bolstering its defenses against the invasion. The message was clear: we stand with Ukraine. The outpouring of support for Ukraine was not limited to governments. People worldwide opened their homes to refugees fleeing the conflict. Donations flooded in, providing much-needed humanitarian assistance. The world was united in its condemnation of the invasion and its unwavering support for the Ukrainian people. Contrast this with the world's response to the plight of Gaza. For decades, Gaza has endured a brutal blockade, its people subjected to unimaginable suffering. Israel, with its superior military might, has launched repeated offensives, resulting in countless civilian casualties. Yet, the international community's response has been muted at best. Where are the crippling sanctions against Israel? Where is the military aid to protect the Palestinians? The answer, sadly, lies in the uncomfortable truth of global double standards. The Palestinians, it seems, are deemed unworthy of the same level of empathy and support. Their suffering is ignored, their cries for justice fall on deaf ears. Gaza has been described as an open-air prison, and for good reason. Israel controls every aspect of life in Gaza. Its airspace is closed, its waters patrolled by Israeli gunboats. The flow of goods and people in and out of Gaza is strictly controlled, strangling its economy and depriving its people of basic necessities. This control extends to the most basic necessities of life. Electricity is scarce, clean water even more so. Hospitals struggle to function with limited supplies and equipment. The people of Gaza are trapped, their lives controlled by a system that seems designed to dehumanize and break their spirit. To understand the plight of the Palestinians, one must delve into the annals of history. The Nakba, or catastrophe of 1948, saw the expulsion of over 700,000 Palestinians from their homes, creating a refugee crisis that reverberates to this day. Since then, Gaza has endured numerous conflicts, each one leaving its mark on the psyche of its people. The Six-Day War, the Sabra and Shatila massacre, Operation Cast Lead. These are just a few of the events that have scarred the Palestinian collective memory. Maps tell a powerful story. In the case of Palestine, they illustrate a stark reality: the systematic dispossession of land. Over the decades, Israel has steadily expanded its settlements, eating away at the land designated for a Palestinian state. These settlements, deemed illegal under international law, are a constant source of tension and violence. They are a physical manifestation of a policy that seems designed to make life for Palestinians as difficult as possible, ultimately forcing them to leave their land. Israel's claim to the land rests in part on historical and biblical narratives. This raises uncomfortable questions about the legitimacy of using ancient texts to justify modern statehood, particularly when it comes at the expense of an indigenous population. The parallels with other colonial histories are striking. From the Americas to Africa to Australia, indigenous populations have been dispossessed, their lands stolen, their cultures suppressed. The Palestinian experience, then, is not unique. It is another chapter in the long and shameful history of colonialism. The hypocrisy is staggering. The world condemns Russia's invasion of Ukraine, rightly so, yet it turns a blind eye to the ongoing dispossession of the Palestinians. We are quick to denounce war crimes in one conflict while ignoring them in another. Where is the outrage when Israeli bombs rain down on Gaza, killing and maiming innocent civilians? Where is the empathy for the families torn apart, the children traumatized by endless cycles of violence? The answer, it seems, lies in a selective morality that values some lives over others. It is time to move beyond this hypocrisy. Justice cannot be selective. Human rights must apply equally to all, regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, or religion. The Palestinians deserve the same empathy, the same support, the same right to self-determination as any other people. We must demand an end to the blockade of Gaza, the expansion of illegal settlements, and the violence that has plagued the region for far too long. It is time for a just and lasting peace, one that recognizes the rights and dignity of both Palestinians and Israelis. Anything less is a betrayal of our shared humanity. Imagine for a moment that someone broke into your house, murdered your family, including your children, and forced you to live outside in the backyard under the rain with no way to escape. When you called the police, much like how Gaza turns to the UN for help, not only did they ignore your cries but some even sided with the intruder, helping them reinforce their claim over your home. Would you simply accept your fate? Or would you seek any means necessary to reclaim your dignity?